Hey, what's up, guys? It is noon Eastern on Monday. Hope you are all having a great start to your week. I've got some good stuff to cover today. Last week I was in New York for ICNY. I got to see so many of you, or some of you. So that was really cool, really nice to get out and chat with some of you and meet some new people, and even meet some of you for the first time that have been in our programs for a long time. I feel like a broken record, but every week I say we've got new people joining every week. And so if you're new today, I do this every single week, with exception if I'm on a plane or something like that, which may happen next week. And I really try to keep these 15, 20 minutes, something to really keep you going. We try to make this the best value in real estate from the perspective of what you're going to get for the cost that you're paying. And we give you the ability as well to ask questions while we're doing this. I'm watching right now my Twitter feed at Jared James Today. You can ask questions that way. If you're not on Twitter, it's free. Just sign up so you can send me questions. Just make sure you include me at Jared James Today. I also follow along in our Facebook group. The Facebook group, it's the Jared James Coaching. If you put that into your search on Facebook, it's another great way to get referrals, give referrals to, we talk about a lot of things, real estate, business related, really real world stuff. Today, what I'm going to talk about today was actually inspired by something that was posted in that group over the weekend. So it's a great place to get, again, great value and get a lot of different perspectives from people from all over the place, okay? So make sure you're in that group. The link to it is right below you as you're watching this right now, so you can go click, join that group. We'll approve you as long as you're a real person and not some kind of a bot. I don't think we have any spam in there, which is fantastic. I can't think of the last time we had something in there. Real quick, guys, obviously the password has changed. The password is now the word Snapchat, all one word, and I think you know why that is. Guys, Snapchat is where it's at. If you're not on Snapchat, it's not just for 12-year-old girls anymore. I'm telling you, beyond telling you, beyond telling you, this is where things are going. This is where they are. If you're on Snapchat, download the app. You can take a picture of my Snapchat picture on my Facebook profile, or just look up at Jared James Today, just like I am everywhere else. Make sure you follow me on there. It's probably the truest sense of what's going on in my world. The behind the scenes hustle, the late night flights, the doing things, walks and, exercise and all the things. If you want a real behind the scenes of what's going on, go ahead and check that out. Download the app. It's free, and follow me on there at Jared James Today, okay? Last week, guys, we cover a lot of different areas within our coaching. Our coaching, really what differentiates us from so many other coaching programs is that we are not ideological, okay? I believe there are so many different ways to create business. I think that you need to be following almost all of those, even if they don't fit your personality. But I believe we need to be setting them up little by little, setting up those lines in the water, systematizing it, and then moving on to the next thing, so that we have a lot of different sources, a lot of different lines in the water to catch a lot of fish. And lately, what we've been talking about, because it's the easiest and quickest way to business, is prospecting, okay? And we've been trying to, I know last week we really, we talked about circle prospecting, which is the idea of when a listing comes up in an area, how do you circle prospect the whole area? What do you say? We try to give you scripts to use, although we don't want you to be scripted. We're giving you the spirit of what we want you to say, because knowing what you're supposed to say and knowing how generally they're going to respond creates a sense of certainty in you, and certainty eliminates a lot of that fear. Most fear comes from uncertainty. It's like watching a scary movie and you're coming around the corner and the music is going and it's slow and all of you like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And even if just something moves slightly, you jump. It's because you're uncertain of what is coming, okay? And so we try to help you create a little bit of certainty. So we talked about circle prospecting. I've also upgraded, by the way, right below this video, guys, the circle prospecting and the expired scripts. I've updated those even from last week, okay? And we are continually updating them, and then we're going to give you the finals in the next month or so. We're updating all our scripts, okay? And there's a lot of reasons why we do that. We do that because, not just because different things work, but here's a little insight into the industry. Whenever anybody who has any kind of a following starts teaching something, everybody else starts doing it. So if I start teaching a certain way of doing something or whatever, every other coach picks it up and they start teaching their people, and next thing you know, a ton of people are doing the same thing, and then your market gets flooded with people all saying the same thing. And it's not that that thing doesn't work anymore, but it's like a Facebook ad that worked 30 days ago, and if you don't change it, it doesn't work as well anymore. You've oversaturated the market. You've got to find new ways to say things, new ways to catch them off, to throw them off, new ways to change their patterns, okay? And so that's why we're always upgrading our scripts. So I've also upgraded right below your expired script that you can look at. But today, I'm going to talk about for sale by owners. We had a post in our group recently from Quincy Clayton, one of our members, and he had brought up the point. In fact, you know what I'm going to do here? I'm actually going to show this to you guys so you can see exactly what it is that I'm talking about. Okay, so let me pull it up. 1 second. All right, so here we are. So Quincy had posted in here, after almost 15 years as a realtor, and again, this is in our Jared James coaching group, which you can see at the top here. We got to change that cover photo. He posted in here, let me see if I can find it again because I just lost it. There it is. After almost 15 years as a realtor, I still have serious gastric challenges about following FSBOs and expireds. About calling. I spent several hours yesterday trying to get a subdivision listing that expired. I will keep trying until they say yes or no. Tonight, I called another expired, had the script in front of me, and I kid you not, my voice was still shaky at it at first. 35 minutes later, I have an appointment set to see their home tomorrow, and she said she really can't wait to meet me. One day, I hope this awful feeling of severe stomach pains goes away at the thought of calling, but until then, I will keep pushing. Side note, I usually have a shot before I make calls, but I was totally out of special sauce tonight, so I went dry. Now, a couple of things I want to focus on with this. Number one, I love the honesty of this, and I see the comments that came from a lot of you. I haven't had a chance to read them all yet, but I think a lot of you can relate to this. You know, this idea that you should do something, but you also know that you don't want to do something. I posted this video yesterday. I did a Facebook Live video. Saturday, I did a Periscope video, and yesterday I did a Facebook Live video, and I talked about this. And I actually did it right when I was done with a run. And I was sweating and I was breathing deeply. And I posted this video and it was live and I was interacting with a lot of you. And I was basically saying how on this run I had read this and I was thinking about how to make it easier for you guys to do what it is you need to do. And something came over me and I just said, wait a second, our job's not to make it easier. We can make that's a yes and no. We can make it easier in the sense that give you the right words, give you the right whatever. But that whole fear thing, that whole, whatever it may be, is actually not a bad thing. If everything that you needed to do to grow a big business and to have the results that you want that are uncommon, that other people aren't having, was so easy, then everybody would be getting it, right? Everybody would be having those same results. So there should be somewhat of a price of admission, meaning it's difficult, it scares you, it's fearful, that's the price of admission. And I was thinking about this, and I was really thinking about the numbers of people that we work with and the numbers of people who have great results and the numbers of people who don't have great results. And it really comes down to their pipeline, right? Your pipeline will tell you where it is your business is about to go. And for many of you, you lack a pipeline. You have the want to, you have the need to, but if I really checked your pipeline, there's not a whole lot in it. So it's not an accident that a month from now, you're still not doing great. 2 months from now, you're still not. The pipeline is a predictor of what's coming, and it doesn't lie. No different than, as I say all the time, putting the ingredients in the oven doesn't lie. Whatever you put the ingredients in ultimately is what comes out. When I got back from that run, my wife was in the middle of cooking pasta. I knew with a certain amount of expectation and anticipation that within the next 30 minutes, I was going to have pasta. It wasn't because pasta was in front of me at the moment. It wasn't even because I saw pasta in front of me. It was because the pipeline said so. The ingredients were put together, the temperature was set, the oven was on, I knew what was coming. And that is where our business needs to go to. And that only happens when you do the things that ultimately create pipeline, the scary things, the things that suck, the things that you don't want to do, these kinds of things. And so last week we talked about expires, we talked about circle prospecting, we talked about these things. I call it all the time, the greatest app known to man. You can get it on your iPhone, you can get it on your Samsung, you can get it on your Droid, you can get it on whatever, and that is called the phone. Greatest app known to man. So today I want to talk to you about for sale by owners, okay? And I want to go over with you the script. The new script is right below this video. We'll be updating the one down below in the template shortly. But let's go over the script that we are now going to be using for FSBOs. And by the way, the reason why we're doing this, we took this and we kind of changed it up a bit from one of our coaches. One of our coaches, Sean, had a student who did not want to make phone calls, who was scared to death of phone calls, that was fighting him like crazy about phone calls. And long story short, Sean gave him basically this script, a little bit different, but basically this script made him start calling for sale by owners. And guys, here's the deal. As scared as he was, just like Quincy, scared as he was, usually he's got his secret sauce or special sauce or whatever he calls it. This particular student, Clayton, obviously booked an appointment, and the person said, can't wait to meet you. Isn't it amazing how that happens? But this particular student of ours that was dealing with our coach, Sean, this last week set up 3 appointments. I mean, think about that for a second. That's one source, FSBOs. Imagine if you were following 4 or 5 different sources that you were afraid to do, that you're not doing right now, that you are not following with your pipeline, and now at the end of the week you had 12 or 15 more appointments. Like, I want you to think for a second, what would your business look like with 12 or 15 more appointments every single week for potential sellers? Think about that for a minute. But no, we're too busy complaining about how we're not where we want to be, avoiding all the things we don't want to do, just telling everybody how those things don't work, and how, you know, I'm not a scripted person, and I'm not, all these different narratives we create that ultimately hold us back. While Joe Schmo over here, I won't name his name, one of our students, sets 3 appointments when he sits down for the day. Quincy goes and does it and sets up an appointment that has the ability to create thousands of dollars for him. I do this kind of stuff every day. I do things that you don't want to do. I said on this Facebook Live thing, and I'm going to get into the script in a second here, guys, for the Facebook thing. But I said on this Facebook Live thing, I said, you know, someday is not a day in the week. And I said, you want to know the biggest difference between you and me? The biggest difference between you and me is that someday is a day for you. It's someday. It sometimes happens. When it does happen, it's someday. It's singular. You do things one time and then you move on. My someday is every day. Like, every day I do things that everybody else is talking about someday doing. That's the biggest difference between you and me. That's the biggest difference between people who are very successful. And by the way, don't be offended by that statement unless you're part of the you, meaning that you don't make someday an everyday thing. You make someday a singular, someday, one time done. You know, that's the person that goes to the gym one time, kills their body, and then expects to be in Baywatch shape for the rest of their life because they went one time. My someday is every day, okay? If you want to do well, your someday has got to start to become every day. It's really that simple, okay? So let's look at this script. And I'm looking at, by the way, Rhonda, I see that you just sent me a thing. I want to give a shout out. Just here's how to find and share your Snapchat URL. Oh, I am gonna have to look into that, Rhonda. That is fantastic. I will look into that. All right, so let's go over and actually take a look at this new script. And guys, I recommend, by the way, look at the, download them and use them, the circle prospecting and the expired from last week, and start using those too, because I changed them even from last week, okay? So let's look at the for sale by owner for this week, okay? And this is going to give you some certainty, okay? So here's the script we use, and there's reasons why we use the words that we use, okay? So you're going to pick up the phone, you're going to call these people, and by the way, where do you get FSBOs? There's many places you can get FSBOs. I mean, you can use a lot of the third-party services of the world that you pay for that I promote on a regular basis, but quite honestly, for sale by owners, you can get them out of Craigslist, you can get them on a forsalebyowner.com, you can get them, remember, these people are selling on their own, so they're putting their information out there, okay? So they're putting their personal information. That's where you find this stuff, okay? Act like you're looking for a home and you're looking at for sale by owners. So you're going to say, hi, is this the owner of the home for sale? They're going to say, yes. You're going to say, excellent. This is blank from blank. Who am I speaking with? They're going to say, this is Tony. How can I help you? You're going to say, hi, Tony. I saw your house for sale on. Tell them where you saw it. How much are you asking for your house? Or I was driving by and I saw the for sale sign. You've got to ad lib a little bit here because you got to tell them exactly where you saw it. Was it a for sale sign? Was it? Be honest with them. They're going to tell you the price, $799,000. Why? Do you have a buyer? And I promise you that's going to be their next response. Do you have a buyer? I might, but I'm not sure because I haven't seen your property in person yet. And by the way, the point of that right there is you're not lying to them. I'm so tired of people calling for sale by owners going, yes, we have many buyers that are looking for exactly what you're. No, I might, but I haven't seen your property yet. Be honest with them. Start your relationship on the right level. Once you sell the house, you're going to stay in town or you're moving out of state. Start asking questions. Why? Because people will answer the questions. And why? Because the more you talk to them, the more context that's created, the more they feel comfortable with you, okay? So I might, but I'm not sure because I haven't seen your property in person yet. Tell me, once you sell the house, are you going to stay in town or are you moving out of state? Well, I'm downsizing, moving to Florida, or we'll be staying local, or it's none of your business, okay? And you've got to respond to those types of remarks. The next part's where you're really starting to get an appointment. Remember, when you're calling FSBOs, you're calling these places, your job is not to list a house over the phone. Your job is to get an appointment, okay? Because people who meet people in person win. Whether it's internet leads, whether it's referrals, whether it's prospecting, whether it's direct targeted marketing, the same thing applies. People who meet people in person and have conversations ultimately win. People who do not don't win. It's literally, guys, that simple. And you're gonna say, excellent. I really pride myself on knowing all of the inventory in the development, the town, the city, the section. This is where you're gonna use their specific area. So you need to do a little research before you call them. They're in the Woodmont area of whatever, you need to say that. Be specific with them so you sound like a professional. And here's the key question. And this is something we've been teaching you guys for the last 18 months or so, and it's such a key question because people wanna say no to you. And so you have to give them questions that they can say no to when really you're getting a yes. So you're gonna say, excellent, I really pride myself on knowing all the inventory in the development, blah, blah, blah. Would you be offended if I was to take a brief tour of your house? Guys, think about what kind of question that is. Would you be offended? Of course I'm not offended. What are they gonna say? Yes, I'd be offended for you to take a tour. So now you're allowing them to do what they wanna do, which is to say no, but you're getting the yes that you want. Would you be offended if I was to take a brief tour of your house? No, that's fine. You know, or they might say, I'm not listing my house. And remember, there are gonna be people who say that. Now, the reason why we brought the script to that place is because if they answer and say, no, I'd love for you to take a look, you forget the script, just set up an appointment. Chances are they're gonna say something like, look, I'm not listing my house, because they're tired of these phone calls. I totally understand, that's not what I'm asking you to do. I just wanna take a quick walk through the house. Who knows, I may even be able to give you some insider marketing tips to make it saleable. Now you're talking about value. Now you're talking about giving them something that they don't have. Do you have some time in the next few days? Seller, yes, I'm free on Tuesday. You know, you can either make yourself available or give alternate options, obviously, if those times don't work. That's perfect. I'll make myself available, or shoot, I already have an appointment at that time. Could you do blah, blah, blah? Okay, sounds good. See you at that time. Okay, now I'm gonna pull this back so you guys can see me. All I'm trying to do with this right here, guys, is I'm trying to get you over the fear of thinking that something is scarier than it really is, okay? Might you get an objection from somebody? Yes. Might they yell, I'm not selling my house? Yes. Are they gonna ask you, do you have a buyer for the house? Yes. All of those potential answers are fantastic for you because it means that you're having a conversation with a potential seller that's actually going somewhere. Those are objections, guys. Those are questions that actually have the potential, when answered and when you follow up on them, to become sales, to become listings. They're a lot better than the conversations that most of us are having about the weather all day and whatever else is going on, which has zero chance of gaining you listings, which has zero. This is why, broken record, you can judge the level of success somebody will have on this planet based on a number of awkward conversations that they're willing to have. You're never going to hear me stop saying that because my job as your coach, if you're a one-on-one student you're watching, your job, their job as your coach is to not just someday, one day a week, whatever it may be, get you to have difficult and awkward conversations. It's to get you to do it every single day. Sometimes, guys, I go to the gym and I am into it. Sometimes I go for a run and I am into it and I get back and I still have energy and I run further and I lift more and I do all of those things. Other times, most of the time, it sucks. Okay, let's just be honest. Other times, it's terrible. I don't feel like doing this. Let's just start moving one foot in front of the other. This is not what I want. But I ultimately love the result. I want the result more than I hate the pain it's going to take to get there. This kind of stuff, the circle prospecting, the expireds, the FSBOs, these kinds of things, these are one part, these are one hook in the water for you to ultimately create the type of business that you want, for you to ultimately be creating the pipeline that it takes for you to get what it is that you say that you want. If you aren't willing to do that, then you have to understand, regardless of what you want, every single day for the rest of your life, you're going to be telling people like me and other people what it is that you want with no real ability to get there, okay? That is as serious as I can be with you. So FSBO script is below. Expired and circle prospecting is below. If you're new to our program, we don't just teach prospecting. It's one area of what we teach. It's an important part, but it's just one more hook in the water. We cover different things on these virtual broadcasts every single week, depending on what it is that we're trying to get you to understand or get you to focus on or whatever it may be. Let me start answering some questions here if you guys have them. Okay, so let me look real quick here. How do you do Facebook Live? I've seen them but can't figure out how to do them. Glenn, they haven't been released to everybody. I think they're on a limited release. I think they've given other people with more followers than others, but I think they are going to be released to everybody. But when you go to update on your phone, if you could do Facebook Live, where there's normally like photo and video and all that kind of stuff, on the end is like a broadcast looking theme thing where you can click on that and you can go live, okay? Make sure, guys, if you go to mine on my profile right now, you go and subscribe to the video. That way when I go live, you guys get notifications and you can be a part of that live broadcast. They're very informal. I sent them out to the database today. It's very raw. It's very, I just got back from a run, but I think people kind of like that. I'm thinking as I'm talking to you when I'm doing them. So I think it's something that people really enjoy, okay? With that being said, guys, I am going to end this. We are at the 20-minute mark. Make sure you use the scripts that are below. Make sure, more importantly, you practice them, you role play them, but you really want to get to the place that you're not even looking at them when you're using them. You're just making your normal calls. By the way, guys, these are the normal calls that you make that are literally going to be a half hour of your day, an hour of your day. There's still to follow up with your leads. There's still to follow up with your SOI. There's still to follow up with the direct targeted marketing you've done and following up with that. There's still to follow up with your core 100. There's all of those other lines in the water we need to be following. But this is one part of that has to become a part of your blueprint if you ever ultimately want to become the success story that tells other people how you did it, instead of 15 years from now, always the person on the other side trying to figure out how to do it. Look, there's a part of you that should always be on the other side trying to figure out how to do it. I listen to more stuff than anyone. I learn more than anybody. I listen to more broadcasts, more podcasts, more than anyone. And I always make sure that I'm on that side learning, eating up the meat and spitting out the bones. But at the same time, you also have to understand that you want to do things, you want to create pipelines in your life that allow you to be in a position of strength where at times in your life, people are asking you to be the one that shares what is it you're doing and how are you doing it. And that's what I'd like to see for each and every one of you. All right, guys, have a great week. If you have any questions, you can keep sending them. Twitter, Facebook, guys, follow on Snapchat at Jared James Today. It's the truest version of what's going on with me behind the scenes. So it's pretty cool. Other than that, I'm not sure if we still have a spot left in the mastermind or not. If we do, fill out the link there, but I'm not sure if we do or not. If you fill it out, I guess we'll figure it out. Have a great week, guys. Talk to you soon.